I found photos of my mom sneaking around with my sister's fiancé, and they just walked in together. My sister Mia called me at 12:14 a.m., whispering so quietly I thought she pocket-dialed me. All she said was, "Come to Mom's house. I can't be here alone." Mom was out of town, so that already made my skin crawl. When I got there, the door was cracked open. Mia was in the kitchen shaking, mascara smudged like she'd been crying for hours. Before I could ask anything, she shoved a manila envelope toward me and said, "Look." Inside were photos, dozens. Every single one showed her fiancé walking into Mom's house. Always alone. Different days, different clothes, different months. And in every picture, he looked like he was making sure no one saw him. I told her it had to be something else, but my voice cracked saying it. Then she handed me the second thing she found, a hotel receipt. 2 nights. Nearby hotel. Booked under her fiancé's name, but the signature at the bottom was Mom's handwriting. Mia kept saying, "Why would Mom have this? Why would he be here this much?" I didn't have answers. My stomach felt like it was falling through the floor. Then a car door slammed outside. We both jumped. We peeked through the blinds and nearly fell backward. Mom's car. Mom getting out. Home early. Walking up the driveway with Mia's fiancé right behind her. Not arguing. Not awkward. Laughing. Like they'd just come from dinner together. Mia covered her mouth to keep from screaming. Before we could react, the front door handle started turning. Mom's voice came through. "Hello, why are the lights on?" The door opened. Mom stepped inside, and when she saw the envelope on the table, she didn't look confused. She didn't even look surprised. She looked irritated. Mia's fiancé froze behind her, eyes locked on the photos. Mom closed the door slowly, like she didn't want the neighbors to hear anything. Then she looked at both of us with this cold, practiced expression I've never seen on her face before. Mia whispered, "Mom, what is going on?" Mom took one step closer, lowered her voice, and said, "Before we talk, I need to know one thing. Who else have you shown this to?" I didn't know how to answer her. The question itself felt wrong, like she'd skipped 10 steps ahead in a conversation we weren't supposed to be having. Mom just stood there in the doorway with that icy expression, while Mia's fiancé hovered behind her like someone who had just walked into the wrong room of his own life. The air in the kitchen felt tight, like it was shrinking around us. I didn't know if we should run, fight, or demand answers, but Mom's tone made one thing crystal clear. She already had them. And she had been waiting for this moment. Mia's voice came out small, almost childlike. She said, "Mom, what? What is all of this?" She was shaking, clutching the counter like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Her fiancé, Daniel, didn't say a word. He just kept staring at the photos spread across the table like they were monsters that had crawled out of his nightmares. I watched him try to swallow, but his throat didn't move. His eyes kept darting toward the door like he was calculating the number of steps it would take to escape. Mom finally moved toward the table. Every step was controlled. Deliberate. She picked up one of the photos between 2 fingers as if it were dirty. She didn't even look at it. She looked at Mia. "I asked you a question," she said. "Who else knows?" "No one," Mia whispered. "Just us. I swear." Mom studied her face like she could read every lie, every breath, every secret Mia might have ever kept from her. When she finally lowered the photo, she said, "Good. That makes things easier." Easier for who? For what? I felt the hairs on the back of my neck rise. Something was wrong in a way that went beyond cheating or betrayal. Wrong in a way that felt orchestrated. Practiced. Planned. I stepped in front of Mia, instinctively like Mom was suddenly a threat. "You need to explain everything right now," I said. "There are pictures of him," I pointed at Daniel, who flinched, "coming here for months. And a hotel receipt with your handwriting on it. What the hell is going on?" Mom let out a breath that sounded almost disappointed. "You shouldn't have come here tonight," she said. "Neither of you." "Why not?" I asked. She pressed her lips together, choosing her next words like they were explosives. Then she turned to Daniel. "Do you want to tell them?" she asked. "Or should I?" Daniel finally snapped out of his daze. "This isn't what you think," he blurted out. His voice shook. "I swear, Mia, I wasn't cheating on you." "I wasn't, then what were you doing?" Mia screamed, and it shook the entire room. "Why were you here? Why do you have a hotel receipt with my mother's signature? Explain that." He took a step forward, hands raised like he was approaching a wild animal. "Your mom and I—" He stopped, glanced at her, and something on his face twisted. "Fear. Real bone-deep fear." "I can't say it," he whispered. Mom's eyes sharpened. "Yes, you can." "I can't," he repeated, shaking his head. "I'm sorry. I can't." Mia let out a strangled sound and grabbed the envelope of photos like she was going to throw them in his face. But Mom took the envelope from her before she could. "You found these because you weren't supposed to," Mom said calmly. "You weren't supposed to find anything until after the wedding. After the paperwork was finalized. After everything was safe." "Safe," I said. "Safe from what?" She sighed, almost annoyed. "From your father." I felt my stomach drop. Dad's been gone for years." "I never said he wasn't alive," she snapped. "I said he was gone." The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush someone. Mom pulled out a chair and sat down as if she were finally ready to deliver the speech she'd been holding in for years. She motioned for us to sit too, but neither Mia nor I moved. Daniel stayed, pressed against the wall like he wished he were invisible. "6 years ago," Mom began, "your father got involved with people he shouldn't have. Dangerous people. He thought he could outsmart them. He couldn't. They threatened us, me and both of you. I did what I had to do to keep us safe." "What does that have to do with Daniel?" I asked. It sounded insane. None of this made sense. Mom leaned back. "Your father still owes money. A lot of it. And those people, they came looking again. They wanted collateral. Someone close enough to the family that they could hold over your father's head." Mia's face twisted in horror. "You offered my fiancé." "No," Mom snapped as if she were offended by the thought. "I offered myself. I offered them everything I had. Money. My car. My jewelry. It wasn't enough." Daniel finally spoke. "They came to me," he said quietly. "A year after I proposed. They said your family was involved. They said if I didn't cooperate, they'd hurt you. Or your sister. Or your mom. They told me to meet with her because she was the only one who knew what your father owed and how to fix it." None of us blinked. None of us breathed. Daniel continued. "I met her here to plan how to get them off your backs. Not to cheat. Not to go behind your back. None of this was about the wedding or us." Mia's hands trembled. "Then why the hotel receipt?" Daniel's jaw tightened. "Because we had to meet somewhere private. They followed me once. The hotel was the only neutral place we could talk without someone watching." Mom added, "I used my handwriting on purpose so they wouldn't trace it back to him." This couldn't be real. It sounded scripted, like something from a crime show. And yet every word came out raw, terrified, desperate. I tried to stay grounded. "So these people, what? Want Dad, want money? What do they want now?" Mom closed her eyes. "At first it was money. Now it's leverage. They found out the wedding was coming up. They told me they wanted control of the marriage certificate. Control of Daniel's new family ties. They said if I didn't sign over everything we had and make sure Mia went through with the wedding, they'd make all of us pay. Including him." Mia stumbled backward. "You're telling me my engagement, my entire relationship was built on blackmail?" "No," Daniel said. "No, Mia. I fell in love with you before any of this. I never planned to be part of this. I've been trying to find a way out for months." Your mom thought what?" I demanded. Mom finally lost her composure. "I thought I could handle it," she said, her voice cracking for the first time. "I thought if I worked with them quietly, if I played their game, they'd leave you two alone long enough to disappear. They weren't supposed to find out you were going through my things." I stared at her. "So what happens now?" Mom looked at the clock on the microwave, and the expression on her face turned grim. "They are coming." The room went completely silent. "When?" I asked. "In about 10 minutes. Everything inside me went cold. Daniel's face went gray. Mia grabbed my arm so tight her nails dug in. "We need to call the police," I said. Mom shook her head violently. "If you do, they'll know. They have eyes everywhere. If they think we're running or involving the police, I don't know what they'll do." "So what do we do?" Mia whispered. Mom walked to the far cabinet and pulled out a small black duffel bag. She dropped it on the table. When it hit, something heavy inside clanked. Daniel backed away. "You said we weren't doing this." "We don't have a choice anymore," Mom said. I opened the bag before she could stop me. Inside were stacks of cash, passports, a burner phone, and a gun. Mia screamed. I staggered back. "They wanted leverage," Mom said quietly. "Instead, we'll give them something else." "What does that mean?" I asked. She walked to the window, peeked through the blinds, then turned back to us with a look I had never seen on her face. Not the soft mother, not the calm parent, but someone hard, dangerous, and cornered. "It means," she said, "when they get here, one of you is going to have to come with me." "Come where?" I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she pressed the gun into my hands. And then we all heard it, a slow, deliberate knock at the front door.